on, guys. This is literally a restream. Listen, I apologize. I did not know that when I plugged my new mic up, right, replace my other mic for specifically for this, did not know that it would turn the mic off. I didn't even go back to check. So that's totally a mess up on my part. So forgive me, forgive me, forgive me. Hey, but we're here. Let's go back to handling our business. So first up, man, I want to talk about the Baltimore Ravens game from last night, what we saw, what we learned, and I will get into what the thumbnail represents. All right. And so let me start out with, man, some big time performers from last night. Let's start out with no other than LaJohntay Wester. I think rookie 6th-round pick LaJohntay Wester put on an absolute performance as much as he could in a preseason game, right? When he got his hands on the ball on the first kick return, he went for 17 yards. We saw a little bit of pop, a little bit of explosiveness, some wiggle, right? All things we knew that he already possessed. But we did not know. I didn't know. You didn't know. The announcers didn't know. The fans in the stadium didn't know that he was going to take it 87 yards to the crib. And this is what we've been waiting on in Baltimore for some time. I know we had Devin Duvernay, who did some good things in the return game. I know Talon Wallace has done some good things in the return game. But I think that when you look at this kid, he has everything you need to have a continual impact. He has the type of skill that will cause punters to kick it out of bounds and will cause kickers, because you know the rule change says that if you kick it into the end zone, they come out to the 35. And so if the Baltimore Ravens are daring enough to put LaJohntay Wester in the middle on the kick return, kickers are going to have to make a decision. What last night put the league on notice of is this dude has some potential. It's not to say that other guys in the league don't have that same type of potential, but I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about LaJohntay Wester, a guy who is on our team. And not only did he show improve in the punt return game, he did show a little splash in the receiving game as well. You know what LaJohntay Wester was saying to the Baltimore Ravens last night? Get me on the field. Allow me to touch the ball 5-ish times per game, whether it's punt return, kick return, sweep, pitch, end around, and I have the ability to make something happen. Super, super impressed from a guy in his first live game action. He couldn't have done more to increase his potential to be on this roster. In fact, I will say he stamped and approved his roster spot last night. I don't care what he does in game 2, as long as he don't fumble, don't care what he does in game 3. Last night showed me a lot because it's his first time in live game action and he performed. So that says a lot. So, man, so shout out to LaJohntay Wester for handling his business, right? When we look at other rookies, let's go to Malachi Starks. Malachi Starks, I thought, played well. He was the only starter out there with the second unit and in some aspects the third unit. He didn't get a whole lot of snaps, but I thought he performed well. Showed the willingness to come up and tackle, showed his ability to be in the right place at the right time as it pertains to coverage. And so didn't seem to be overwhelmed. And so shout out to Malachi Starks. Again, didn't make a lot of plays, but when he did get his name called, it was not because he had messed up. It wasn't because he had a blown coverage. It wasn't because he had a missed tackle. It's because he was where he was supposed to be, doing what he was supposed to do, right? Let's keep talking about our rookies who showed up last night. Let's go 2nd round pick, Mike Green. Now, he didn't dominate, but he did not underperform either, right? Mike Green showed his ability to get off the ball, explosiveness, power, showed the ability to bend the edge, get to the quarterback, and close the deal. Everything we had heard from him in training camp, everything we had heard from him in the padded practices, the practices with the Indianapolis Colts, he continued that momentum, right? And so shout out to Mike Green, man, for doing exactly what he was supposed to be doing, which is performing, getting into the backfield, and causing a little bit of havoc. Emory Jones, third round pick, of course, is not available. So let's go to the fourth round, and let's deal with Teddy Buchanan. I didn't think he played great, but I didn't think he played poorly either. I just gave him a grade of 5, right? A range of number 5, right in the middle of okay. I thought he did show some stuff in pass coverage. I did think we saw his speed on display, his athleticism on display. But when you're playing with a second and third unit, you can only do so much with the talent around you, right? It wasn't a situation where he jumped off the screen, but when his name was called, it was not because he was making poor plays. It was because he was, making tackles, being around the ball, that kind of thing. So shout out to Teddy Buchanan. I don't think he decreased his stock, but I don't think he increased it either. Let's go to the 5th round. Tyler Loop. Tyler Loop made every one of his extra point kicks, and then he missed a 46-yarder, which maybe brought in a little bit of concern, but in the context of it was his first kick of distance and, live game action, right? Extra points are roughly 25 yards, 20 yards, something like that. Those are easy. But, 46 yards is pretty significant, and he missed it. But what I thought that he showed coming right back and banging the 52-yarder was that, you know what? He's unfazed. And you have to be that way as a kicker because you're literally out there by yourself. What I mean by that is you're standing back there 10, 12 yards from the holder. And so all of your concentration has to go between your eyes, your feet, your legs, and your power. And when he hit that 52-yarder, it had a lot more distance. It could have been good from 60. So shout out to Tyler Loop, man, for redeeming himself. Now we need to see what game 2 looks like. Does he miss more kicks, or does he kind of build some momentum off of the 52-yarder and keep rolling? We'll see. We'll see. When we get into the 6th round picks from the Baltimore Ravens in 2025, we talked about Wester, so let's talk about Aeneas Peoples. I thought Aeneas Peoples did well. Again, coming in with the basically third unit, got his hand on the ball, batted down a pass, got into the backfield a couple of different times, was disruptive, and then made a few tackles. So again, I didn't think he overperformed. I didn't think he was quote unquote the best player on the field, but I did think that he showed well, right? Now, whether he makes this roster, I don't know. I do not know, because it's going to be hard to make this roster in the trenches, especially with 3 guys locked in. And if you believe that Jenkins is a lock, and if you believe that them bringing back Brent Irvine makes him a lock, that's 5 ahead of Peoples already. And so I think he's going to have to show something game 2 and 3 to say, you know what, I belong here. I think he belongs, but when you're in a Super Bowl run, everybody won't be able to make it. So shout out to Peoples for getting his name called, for doing the right things, causing a little bit of havoc, but I think he has to show another level of performance. But for the most part, first live game action, I give him a B+ for sure. Let's see. Other 6 rounders, didn't hear much from Longer Beam. If he did anything, I didn't even recognize it. Who else was in that? Who else is in the 6th round this year? Bilal Coney. Shout out to Bilal Coney. Really feel bad for the kid, a guy who I thought was having a good offseason, solid mini camp, above average training camp, and tore up his knee and lost for the season. And when you have multiple knee ligament tears, which, that's what the report was, the one that I read anyway, you don't know how a guy recovers from that. And that's the sad part. First live game action, and he loses his whole season. I guess the only benefit is that this injury came way early. So he does have an opportunity to take the full year to be ready to go for 2026. So hopefully, man, the surgery goes well whenever he gets on the table. Hopefully, there's no infection, no delay, and he's ready to get back to training, at least partially by the end of the season, which will be February for us, I believe. And so, shout out, man, to Bilal Coney. The good thing is this guy had solid athleticism. He's always going to be 6'1". He's always going to have long arms. And before the injury, he was a 4'3" guy. And so even if he loses a little bit of a step, he'll still be pretty fast. So we'll see. We'll see. And then I did not hear anything from Garrett Dellinger, the 7th round pick. I don't think I missed anybody, but if I did, you guys jump into the comment section and shout them out. Let's get into some other solid performers. Oh, I did miss a guy, UDFA Jay Higgins. Jay Higgins was a solid performer last night. One of the most sought after UDFAs. He ended up being nabbed by the Baltimore Ravens, and right on schedule, right? He paid dividends. I thought he was around the ball pretty well. I thought he played against the run pretty well, but the most important part was causing some havoc, causing some turnovers, an interception, and he also slapped the ball away, which I don't know if that shows pass coverage as much as it shows just being in the right place at the right time, because the quarterback play from the Indianapolis Colts was trash. But no matter how you get it, and he did. So shout out, man, to Jay Higgins. I think that he is going to make a push to get onto this roster. I think they only keep 4 interior linebackers, and another game or two, I think, says to the Baltimore Ravens coaching staff that, you know what, this guy belongs on the roster. So we'll see. Does he make a special teams play that kind of nudges him up a little bit more? We'll have to wait and see. But shout out to Jay Higgins for sure. Let's see. Who else performed well last night? I'm going to say Keaton Mitchell. I know to last, but just hold on. Who else? Shout out to Jalen Armour-Davis, man, who I thought played well. I thought that he showed well in pass coverage. I thought he showed well defending the run. Again, he was out there with the 2nd and 3rd unit, but when he got out there, when his number was called, it was not for getting beat necessarily. I think he was playing coverage against Adonai Mitchell 1 or 2 occasions. I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, it was a long game, a lot of plays, so I can't remember everything precisely. But when his name was called, he was doing what he was supposed to do, and the commentators spoke highly of him as well. So shout out to Jalen Armour-Davis, man. 1, being healthy, 2, being ready to go. So shout out to him. The UDFA, I can't remember his name. It's the guy who was into the fight that Wiggins got into as well. I thought he played well. I thought Bo Braid played well last night. Again, not elite, didn't jump off the screen, but consistent. I thought Sanusi Kane played well. Not elite, didn't jump off the screen to me, but I thought he played well. And we understand that he was in there with Malachi Starks, and we know that he will absolutely be behind Kyle Hamilton when Kyle Hamilton's on the field. But shout out to Sanusi Kane for doing what he was supposed to do last night. Let me think, who else? Shout out, man. I don't want to leave this guy out. Shout out to David Ajabo. I thought David Ajabo showed well last night. And not just on that one explosive play, but I thought he played well. I thought he showed some pressure, some power. And then on the one play that he did get the sack that knocked AR out the game, he showed his get off, showed explosiveness, right? And listen, I'm not going to be too overly excited about this. And I caution you don't be too overly excited about David Ajabo either, because we know he has 3 plays like that per season. When he came back in his rookie season, he had that one splash play against Joe Burrow, strip sack fumble, right? And then his second season, I think he had a couple of 2-3 plays, and then last year he had 1 or 2 plays, and that's it. And so he probably has 1 good play every 6 games. That gives him 3 plays per season. And so we're going to see. We know that he played himself out of the rotation last season. This is a contract year. This is his last season in Baltimore. I'm not saying it's going to be his last season, but I'm saying it's his last season under contract. And so I'm not going to be too overly excited about what he did last night, but because we've seen that before. We understand his potential. We understand the talent. We just haven't seen it with any bit of regularity. And so shout out to David Ajabo, man, for being seen and heard from. Shout out to Adisa Isaac, who combined with Mike Green on a sack. Matter of fact, I don't even know if I talked about Mike Green yet, but let me talk about them in concert. Adisa Isaac and Mike Green combined on a sack. Heard Adisa Isaac's name a couple of different times last night on a couple of tackles. So shout out to him, man, for being heard from, right? We didn't hear from him at all last season. And so I think that this is an opportunity, man, for him just to be in a little bit of the rotation and make it count. Because it's going to be tight for minutes this season in that pass rush room. And so this is when you earn the coach's confidence. So shout out to him, Mike Green. Sure. Oh, I did talk about Mike Green, so forgive me. See, when you're getting old, man, you forget sometimes. So forgive me. Let's see who else. I think that's it for last night for guys who stood out. So let's get to the thumbnail. I got Derrick Henry and Keaton Mitchell in the thumbnail together. Well, let me tell you why. Because when I was watching Keaton Mitchell in the first half, where he was quick and explosive, showed burst, I think he went for 9 for 60 plus yards. It felt like he had more yards than that. But what it caused me to recognize is that the Baltimore Ravens have unlimited potential offensively. And I think it starts with these two guys, Henry and Mitchell. I didn't include Lamar Jackson because I want Lamar Jackson this season in particular to be more of a point guard. You see, in a true point guard sense, you distribute, right? You throw the lob, you hit you pass to the corner for the 3. You run the pick and roll. You don't always have to go get yours. Now, a good point guard can do both, get his own and distribute. We understand that Lamar Jackson can get his own, and he will need to at times this season. But when I was watching Keaton Mitchell last night, it made me say, you know what? These two guys have to be on the field at the same time. Imagine a world where Keaton Mitchell and Derrick Henry is on the field and Lamar Jackson is under center at the same time. It will have the defensive coordinator and defensive players in a chokehold. They will not know what to do. They won't know where to go. They won't know who to follow, and they won't know what to react to. Stay with me. I think the key to the Super Bowl this season is Lamar Jackson being more under center. I think the key to keeping Lamar Jackson healthy this season is Lamar Jackson being more under center. So imagine when Lamar Jackson's under center, he turns left or right, and Derrick Henry is coming on the dive. Is he getting it? Is he not? Linebackers have to react. Safeties have to react. Defensive linemen have to react to the potential of a play fake. And then you still got Keaton Mitchell who can get the pitch or get the handoff. It's kind of the old school counter trade, right? For those of you, it may be called something else nowadays, but the counter trade was when you fake it one way, hand it back to the other way. But I just think that these two guys on the field at the same time. See, what the league learned last night was Keaton Mitchell is back for real. He looked very similar to what we saw from him in his rookie season, where he was just breaking off big play after big play after big play. And I think if you allow this guy, Keaton Mitchell, to be on the field, I'm not saying 15 plays a game. I'm saying 7, 8 plays a game. One, it adds variation and diversity to the backfield. but it also increases all kind of opportunity, whether it's run or pass, because teams have to react to the dive action. They have to. And if they don't react, they'll pay for it. I think it increases the play action, and I think it opens up the middle of the field. I can see Derrick Henry getting the ball. I can see the fake. I can see the pitch to Keaton Mitchell. I can also see on occasion where it's faked, it's the pitch is faked, and Lamar Jackson keeps it. I think the potential for this offense is unlimited, and I think it starts in the backfield. I don't want to leave out. I don't want to leave out Justice Hill, because Justice Hill has proven to be a valuable commodity. So I'm not even opposed to Justice Hill and Keaton Mitchell being on the field at the same time, because that adds to receiving threats out of the backfield, plus guys who are explosive. And so, man, I just think, man, what we can do offensively, if Todd Monken will tap into his full imagination and let it all hang out in 2025, I think our run game and play potential and pass play potential can go up even another level. Are you saying, Belanger, that Lamar Jackson can hit the 4,000 yard mark again? Yes. Am I saying he could hit 40 touchdowns passing again? Possibly. Am I saying he could go for low interceptions again? Yes. But I'm saying I believe that the Baltimore Ravens could rush for even more yards. I don't think it has to be a situation where Derrick Henry goes for 19, Lamar Jackson goes for over 900, and then Keaton Mitchell and Justice Hill just get some breadcrumbs. I think all the running backs can eat. I think Lamar Jackson can still eat in the running game. I think they all can be satisfied. I'm looking at a Baltimore Ravens run game potential for 35 carries at a minimum. You're only getting 55 and as much as 65 plays a game. So let's tap in at 60 as average. That means we 35 runs, 25 passes per game. And I'm cool with that, because we saw Lamar Jackson go for over 4,000 with a 25 pass per game average anyway. So I think, man, when I saw Keaton Mitchell show that second, third gear, it made me start getting excited, man, about the potential for this offense. I think it opens up everything else. And I think it's going to start in the backfield. Speaking of backfield, let me not forget about Rashaan Ali. Ali is a guy who I wasn't impressed with last season. I wasn't impressed with the pick, and I wasn't impressed with his contribution. And I thought he was only on kick return just as a throw-in, because there was nowhere else to put him. But last night, although it was a preseason game, last night he showed his value in the return game and also in the run game. I think he reintroduced himself last night to say, you know what? I'm still here. And even if the Baltimore Ravens don't keep him, I don't know. 31 other teams had an opportunity to watch him. And so I think he's going to make the decision-making in Baltimore difficult in a couple of more games. Now, we'll see what he does in game 2 and 3. But last night, he took full advantage of his opportunities, man. So let me close out right here, man, with a full overall assessment. I thought overall, I'm going to give offense probably, well, let me break it down like this. I give the passing game an F. When you go 5 for 14, 3.7 yards per pass, and I think 2 interceptions, one of them in the red zone, you can only get an F. If there was something lower than an F, I would give them that. Matter of fact, let me give them a Z, because that's what it was worth last night. The run game, I give an A+. Not that the run game blocking was always elite, not that it was always perfect, but the run game is a tandem, offensive line, and then what the running back can do with his pure talent. And I thought the running backs last night did well. They did very, very well. And so I'll talk more specific about the quarterback position in another video. But I thought, so the offense, I give it an A and an F, which means they're going to come out with probably like a D+ or a C-. Defense from front to back, I'm going to give a B. I saw some good things. I saw some not so good things, but overall, I thought we did well. The pass rush was getting busy. They were getting into the backfield. They probably should have had about 7 to 9 sacks, but sometimes the quarterback stepped up and got away, that kind of thing. I did see some times where Daniel Jones showed some playmaking ability, eluded the rush, and threw the ball downfield. One of them was a 25-yard completion. So I don't like that kind of stuff, right? When you got the quarterback on the move and you have the talent to finish the play, right? So defense, I give a B, and offense, I got to give the offense holistically a C minus because the run game was good, the passing game and quarterback play was trash. So we'll see. We'll see. I know there's no on-field work today. Hopefully we don't hear any more injuries other than Bilal Coney. Again, man, sad news from about him. But Baltimore gets out with a win. We'll take the good with the bad, flush it, and begin to prepare for next week. Man, guess what, guys? The season's here. When you really think about it, the season's here. When you start getting on the field and you start, having real live game action, and sometimes you have injuries that are costly, you can only chalk it up, man, to the season being here. And that's the truth. And so I'm ready for it. Hopefully we can get out of the next 2 games clean. I don't believe we see Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers at all. Let me keep thinking. I don't think there's a need to see Mark Andrews at all. I don't think there's a need to see much more of Charlie Kolar. And when I'm saying these things, I want to preserve these guys from injury. Don't need to see Marlon Humphrey. I don't need to see Nate Wiggins. I don't really need to see Jair. I don't need to see Awuzie, really. Because these guys are vets. Other than Nate Wiggins, he's a vet, but not, with any longevity to him. Don't need to see Roquan. Maybe a little bit more Trent Simpson. Don't need to see Meta BK. I don't need to see Travis Jones. And I'm saying what I'm saying because I just don't want to risk any injury. We probably will see them all, nevertheless, in game 3, maybe for the first 2 or 3 series. But for the most part, man, I do not want to see those guys on the field. I just don't. I just do not want to run that risk. So, man, you guys let me know, man, who you guys thought jumped off last night, man, who did well, who you guys was disappointed in, and what you need to see in the coming practices and games. I'm your guy, Boulanger, man. This is the GM. And again, forgive me for the no volume, my mistake. Hit like and subscribe, man. If you're still here, you are appreciated. And I'm out.